Hello, this is Dirty 20 Gaming. My name is Kevin, and these amazing, wonderful, marvelous, and spectacularly interesting people have all agreed to play a game with me tonight, and that makes me super happy. So let's talk to the people that make me super happy. Let's start with Sean.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, tell us about things you want them to know.
Well, Sean with Dells for Donors. We've kind of got some a little bit more lockdown for the next Delves we're looking to do, and of course, it's now going to be in March. So, um, finally getting in touch with people, but then we had to push off from this year because they're going to be out of country for about a month. So it makes it a little hard to get stuff done this close to the holidays. So, but
Fair
that
enough.
does give me that does get me happy that we'll be able to get some more charity work going here in the near future.
That is
So,
good to keep us up to date, so
and
we
I will
can,
do.
so we can track that with you. Next, let's go with Primus.
Hello, everyone. I'm Aaron, also known as Primus. You can find me over on Twitter at Primus_cast. You can also find me eventually back on Tuesdays for over at Charlie Xavier D&D playing June Sea Breeze and Dragons of Stormwrath Isle. And by the end of the month, I will have another game that I will be playing in for the first time, but I'll put more information out when I get closer.
Awesome. Perfect. More games is almost always more fun until you realize you're playing so much that you're not getting any sleep. Uh, let's just keep rolling around the Zoom circle. That's actually more like a pentagon, but we'll get letters. Solar Dasher, save me from my own mouth. Tell us what you do.
I am Solar Dasher. You can find me here playing Blake on Fridays. On Thursdays, you can find us in our King's Pyrite episodes based off of the Fool's Gold campaign made famous by Dingo Doodles on YouTube. Yay! There I play Luna, who's a mix of Sips and Gothy at the moment. But it's lots and lots of fun.
It's
She's very soft spoken.
Oh, I
But
love it.
she's a lovable fluff ball.
Yep.
Otherwise, you can catch me in our Discord, or I do plan on trying to stream either tonight, maybe, or tomorrow. As I finally got everything together to where I can use 2 monitors. Ooh.
Nice.
I haven't tried it yet, but
Do you want 3 already?
No.
No, because I got 3. I
barely
want
handle
6.
I'm used to 2,
Okay.
so I think that's fine just staying with the 2. It's just working out how I'm going to do it because the 2 are going to be in way different positions now.
Oh, yes. Yes. Prepare to get whiplash. But we will continue to move around the shape, bringing us to Eddie.
Hi, my name is Eddie Elfman. I'm an Edmonton-based voice actor. You can find me Friday nights, which is tonight. Congratulations. It is the end of the week. Playing Tyler Nicky, 12-year-old skateboarding cool guy that is trying to get a large Twitch following, streaming to all the world. And then Monday nights, you can find me more or less same time, same place on our Buffy the Vampire tabletop RPG, where I play Miss Cheryl Da, a southern debutante that has some arcane powers. And then besides that, you can find me on my link tree for social medias. I got the Instagram, I got the TikToks. And then, like every voice actor, I have this insatiable need to change the platform that I'm on or that I'm currently applying to work on. If I don't do it every 4 weeks or so, I will die. So check me out on Casting Call Club, a really cool open source website where you yourself right now can make an account and apply for any paid or unpaid gig and either get some experience or meet lots of cool people. It's really cool. You can follow someone, you could follow me if you want to, and you could listen to every audition and every weird voice that I try to make, because all auditions are publicly available. So if you want to get pointers from other people that are trying, it's really useful. I strongly recommend it. It seems, and it's all free, which is crazy as well. Not crazy. That's the way it should be. Anyways.
Yes. Artists supporting artists. I love it. Thank you. With that, speaking of free, I'm going to say to the other people that help us do this, with Starting with Hero Forge for our character art. Background imagery was from Pixabay, and the game we're playing tonight is based on, I have to say that now because we've peeled a lot of it away, Stealing Stories for the Devil by Monty Cook Games. Tune in, amazing game. Straight out of the box, it's an amazing game, and then I couldn't leave it alone. So, speaking of which, let's get into this. Tyler, we last left you after changing history again, and all the sort of dolted off into different places and did different stuff, leaving you skating off into the London darkness to ponder life, the universe, and everything a 12-year-old could possibly perceive.
Ew.
Take us take us on that trip. What's the thought process when the wheel, that sound of the wheels on concrete just starts, you know,
The
you
soft clack clack clack
Yeah.
goes down as we descend into the London darkness across the streets. There's a light drizzle of rain, and it definitely, although Tyler is too young to get the reference, it's very similar to kind of like an Evanescence music video, where there is like lots of dramatic splashing and slow-mo droplets as he contemplates his life and how trying to do a good thing has resulted in possibly a bad thing. He's not too brushed up on history, but the only history that does matter to Tyler, being an American, is American history, and he knows that kings are bad. So he's going to ponder, now that London's or England itself has a king, what that meant for all those brave Americans who fought a Revolutionary War, and how he's affected countless lives. So he's definitely having this dramatic reckoning
Wow, a flashback to Bones.
of just like trying to think of like what life has looked like, and what's changed, whether or not he wants to even look into it.
Wow.
If it's worse or better than the American history that he's heard tale of.
How do I do this without? Oh, I know. I don't know if you'd probably notice. I mean, yeah, this works. You've been in London for a while, so you kind of get the tourist to local ratio. As you skate around in the dark, there's way more Americans that drank more tonight than they thought they did because of the strength of the beer. But they're kind of easier to pick out. You can pick out an American too. You know, you are one. There's more Americans here than there were before you had your little adventure.
Yeah.
They seem
So
to be
he's probably
more accepted, maybe.
Interesting.
Yeah.
He's gonna probably like shred and do some board slides kind of close by, doing some more like localized tricks to see, because a group of drunk Americans visiting London would probably break out into the Star Spangled Banner, and he's just going to listen to any patriotic songs that they come up with and see if they're the same.
Oh yeah. The first group you go by is really good. You kind of have to wait, but it's like that. You hear from what you overhear, they used to be a barbershop quartet, but they're really drunk, so it takes them a minute to get started. They forgot who the tenor was, but just as you're getting bored and skating off, you hear a magnificent rendition of the Star Spangled Banner. This begins a wave of patriotic fervor, and all around you hear varying levels of fervor. Yeah.
There's a calmness, because for some reason there's some part of him that's like, okay, this is, the world hasn't changed that much, and it has shifted.
Yeah.
And it is a truly beautiful song.
Yes.
At the end of the day, is for some reason, despite all of Nikki's new age beliefs, he's like, okay, there's still like this like weirdly deep identity, and it's boiled into it.
Yeah.
Nothing can change.
No,
my people's identity is what he thinks for a minute.
Yeah.
And he goes, all right, okay. And probably goes and joins in with some people before they realize he's a kid and goes, Star Spangled Banner. It waves." Yeah. But he'll probably just zip
Oh.
around and
Yeah. You get offered drinks because like people are going, no, he's underage, but no, this is England, and they're off. Yeah, it's also 3 o'clock in the morning, so good decisions are not being made.
if it's
yeah,
bottled, I
Yeah.
will take it.
okay,
Absolutely. If it's
Yeah.
an open beer, no.
Oh, somebody hands you a big brown can about this tall. It's sealed shut, but when they hand it to you, there's a clunkety clunkety clunk at the bottom. And it's like clunk, clunk, clunk.
Okay.
There's a marble in the bottom of this beer, but it's sealed. It says Guinness on the side.
As I'm trying to think about how much a 12-year-old boy knows about Guinness.
Yeah.
Very little.
Why
He's
is there a
getting some-
marble in it?
Yeah, and just kind of rattles it back and forth a little bit too forcefully.
Yeah.
Cracks it open
And-
and then tries to catch all the
Yep.
bread.
Yeah, the liquid bread, exactly. Is that technically a widget? I did not know that. But I do
Yes, they
apparently
are
know.
called widgets.
Cool, I
Thank
learned
you.
a thing.
Thank you, boys.
Thank you.
Yep.
So you have a drink, or as many as you wish, but the overall feeling is everybody here can be as American as they want, and no one is either offended or telling you to shut up and go home.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That feels pretty good. He's
If you look into it, in my head, what happened was two democracies came to a reasonable decision about North America rather than going to war,
oh, okay.
because there was
Interesting.
no kingly pride involved. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
if you looked into it,
All right.
that's where that came from. But yeah, yeah,
As long as there's still the same guy on the money, he's gonna be like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. It's not, it hasn't changed too much. And then he thinks like, okay, maybe I'll try to work on American history if I can.
Well, there's no point remembering before now. You just changed it. But yes,
I know, but he's definitely being like, okay, what do I do?
yeah.
Yeah. It was the
Um,
revolutionary request. Revolutionary form 2.
a forfeiture of property more than anything else.
Mhm.
An acceptance of the status quo, one might even say. But with that, do you sort of go back and check in, literally check in at the place where you were staying? Because you're technically
Yeah.
an exchange student, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I roll down the street and I don't say sorry. I'm an American.
Yes.
Thank you for all the Canadian commentary in the chat.
Yeah.
And I'll roll up to the front of a hotel.
Yeah.
And I'll act like nothing's changed, and I'll see
Yep.
if I can make it into my dorm room,
Mhm.
assuming that my travel group's still at the same hotel.
Yep. They are. It's this is the point where you realize you don't have to sneak because according to them, you've only been gone for 7 hours. So you kind of pissed off this afternoon. There is you see what you see when you walk in and sort of head through the lobby and towards the elevators. You see somebody at the desk look at you, look at a monitor, and then call a number. And as you're getting onto the elevator, they say something.
Yeah.
But other than that,
Um,
yeah.
Is there a way I can kind of hang back and try and listen for that?
Oh yes,
What they
absolutely.
say about me?
Yeah. I'll give it to you. You hear them
Okay.
say it's to your sponsor or the guardians
Mhm.
upstairs. Yes, the young gentleman has returned.
Okay.
And you just
Sounds
hear
good.
you just kind of hear a heavy sigh. I'll even give you this. You just hear it's a very good sound system. You just hear a heavy sigh. Thank you. Click.
Yeah, I'll roll up to my room,
Yep.
check my family texts that I've had muted, and make sure
Mhm.
that no one's too worried, and just say like, reception here is just terrible. It's not like AT&T's coverage at all. Like,
You
just
when you
gonna-
looked at they are that would anybody in your family know to look at your Twitch channel? Because the other thing is, you also put. I just
So
realized you put
I'm-
all of that out in one 6-hour stream, essentially.
Yeah,
Like
so
all the adventures that you've been on.
we said that Tyler was from the West Coast,
Yep.
and he was like either Portland or so either like Oregon or like California.
Yeah.
So we're gonna say that his parents, or at least one of his parents, he asks that they request to look at his Twitch channel to respect his privacy, and they acknowledge that
Okay.
and they respect the boundaries that Tyler sets.
Fair. Yep. Okay. So the information.
So
is
there's a
there,
lot
but
of
the-
like, hey,
yeah.
like I see that you're streaming. Do you mind if I check it out? And then
Yeah.
there's just like the automated like can't talk right now, like
Still live, still
entertaining my
live.
fans
Yeah.
type thing.
Yeah. Perfect.
Um,
Yeah.
and then just probably responsive like, oh, I'll put the VOD up tomorrow if you want to check it out. We did some weird like experimentalist like videography. It was really cool.
There's because you made them this way. Massive parental support waves come bursting back at you through the messaging, even given the time change. They're not mentioning
yeah.
that it's tomorrow late afternoon where they are, and you're up at 4 o'clock in the morning. But after a wave of support, there is the inevitable one question: is any of this monetizable? Your father followed immediately by your father's just kidding, but
Oh, I think at the current stage it's starting to be. But just well, like you said, like it's not about the money. It's just something I want to do. So I suppose one day it could be, but yeah. I imagine it's his parents being a lot of like, it's not that we don't trust you, it's just that we're concerned.
Yeah.
So like thank you for checking in on us.
Yeah.
Sorry, checking in with us, but like this is your first big trip, blah blah
Yeah.
blah. And
we
being like, yeah, of course.
Yeah, some of that looked very dangerous, but we're sure you're taking the proper safety precautions, like not second guessing you or trying not to overly
Wonderful.
parent you. Yeah, you've taught
Wonderful.
them well.
Well, I've been raised
Yeah,
in an understandable home.
you certainly had. That would explain a lot, wouldn't it?
And yeah, probably just ask them how they're doing and I don't know.
You get at that
We can go
with
into
that-
it further if you want.
Well, I was just gonna say at that point it turns into parent-child stuff, right? Like now that the concern about you not responding for 7 hours is gone. Now it's are you brushing your teeth? Are you going to the washroom regularly? Don't drink the water. Watch out for the girls. All the stuff. But
Okay.
yeah, we could leave that. If you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
That way we can get us
Absolutely.
back together. The rest of you have done your things. So the next day, because narrative, who cares? The next day, the four of you find yourselves with that initial. Well, three of you had this initial urge for the first time. This is the first time for Tyler. It's like the world is a gravity well, and Callum's apartment is the thing at the hole at the bottom. Everywhere you go, you can't think of anything else but going back. The rest of you recognize this. This is what got you here in the first place. Anybody resist it this time?
I do fight it long enough to make sure I finish breakfast.
Yes. Okay. Yes, good fiction. Nice parents who understand.
Drive-through on the way.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's bring this back to reality. Drive through breakfast. Let's go.
Well, she's on the. They are on that really, really cool bike. So yes, they're gonna make use of that bike as much as they can. So yes, they're gonna stop and pick up some breakfast along the way while riding the bike.
Of course, yes. And with that, the four of you return. Let's just get you back in there. When you get there, this time there's a small sign on the door, just a little stuck to the door with some blue text, except it's yellow because that way it's not a brand name. There's a little note stuck to the door that says, "I might be resting, Callum. P.S. Just come in if you're those lot. If not, fuck off."
Okay.
Well,
Hold on a minute.
this thing is pulling us to here, so I'm gonna guess we have to go in no matter what the sign says. So Ted will walk up and actually do the whole turn the handle and
Yeah. As you as you open the door, there's a and then there's a steam. It smells like somebody filmed 246 Irish Spring commercials in here. Down at the end of the hallway, another door is open that was closed before, and there's just billowing wafts of steam coming out of it, smelling of all different unguents and potions and smellifications.
Is he having a?
Tyler? Did he discover the shower?
I'm right here. I think Callum is taking like a spa day or something.
Callum, just be decent. We really don't need to see anything that's not.
Ah, crap. I cannot, give me a minute.
Oh, by all means, take two.
And you hear, you hear
uh,
the squeaking, squawking sounds of somebody getting up in the tub. Yep. Mick, go ahead.
Ted, do you not remember what happened last time we were here?
He steps out of the tub and you hear whoop as he hits the floor, soaking wet from his wet feet. Son of a bitch! And then you hear it rustling, and then the door slams shut, and you hear him making noises in there.
Oh, I remember. Start looking around to see if everything's still safety set.
Yeah, it looks like actually, seeing as how you said look around in here, there's some parts of this apartment that have kind of gone all wireframey. Like the like all the textures have come off the
Ooh, okay.
hologram. Like you can just
Okay.
see the blue lines that it all rested on.
Oh, yeah.
And in one corner, it's all sort of twisted and kind of almost like wormholey off into the distance. In an aha video, yeah.
Is there any change? There's some kind of accoutrement talking about or accoutrement that would befit Callum, a pride Scotsman. Is there any change now that the kings are all like super understanding people?
I figured out where you were going exactly as you got there. You look around for a long time, and then finally you see a little plaque that wasn't there before on the lintel above the fireplace. And if you walk over and read it, it says, "Fuck the lot of you, there's still a king." Somehow in the accent. He remembers both ways and chooses which one he's going to live with. So
That's fair. That's
yeah.
fair.
And
Okay.
at that, as you the rest, do you want to do anything before Callum comes out of the bathroom?
Ted, is this like
There's
one of
a
those
question.
things
So, yeah.
that I saw on this TV show once where he's like rejecting reality and substituting his own? Is that what's happening here?
Oh, well, it's not so much Mythbusters that we're playing, but I'm definitely thinking we're busting something.
And broke it.
And I'm actually kind of a bit concerned because I know he said this whole thing's a hologram, but if we haven't released the tensions, is this what's going to, it's all going to start here? The point that is actually able to associate all of them?
This is what it looks like when you release the tension, he says, walking into the room, tying up a yellow and black tartan robe. All he's got
So-
on is that and the socks, the knee-high socks with the garters and the little, yeah.
It's fine. It looks close enough to the kilt. We're good.
Yeah.
So when it all comes apart, that's supposed to be good.
Well, stick your head through the hole and find
Oh,
out.
I'm not putting no. That is not happening at all.
No, this is like a coat of paint coming off.
Okay. So this is okay that it's all starting to fall apart.
Before you can do an update, you got to get rid of the old shit, right?
Okay. Just checking. Usually
Yeah.
this is in the movies, this is the part where it goes, oh no, and we all sucked in and we all die.
Oh no, that's just there because you cannot process what's really going on.
I think we're good, Mick.
Huh. So like the texture pack hasn't loaded? Why
That's
we're-
that like you've done a mod and it's not all gone correctly because it's not got the old shit out of the way first.
Okay. All right.
You'll have to restart.
But yeah,
That's
the
fair. Okay.
real world hologram has to do it live, so it does it a wee bit at a time.
Well, where are we looking to go this time?
Well, you've got what is it? 4 of them left, and he reaches over and reaches up, and the robe almost falls and pulls it tight again. It's the-
Why do I even try? Like just turns the other direction.
I
Weird.
don't know. He needs to try. He needs to try.
It's better than last time. He's not fallen out of his chair this time. So,
At least we
So-
got that going for us.
so there's still when the Romans founded Londinium, the burning of the Globe Theatre, the Great Fire of 1666, and the rebuilding of St. Paul's Cathedral.
Well, I've always been a fan of Shakespeare's works. I wouldn't mind sitting there trying to work on that one.
Well, you see, when we kind of all like split up and stuff last night after all the shenanigans went down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I found out that in this reality, my sister's the director of the Tate Museum.
You got that card again, damn it.
No, this wasn't from a card.
Oh, that's
is
right,
This was
yeah.
from
what
reality.
you
Right,
said.
this is
This
me.
is
Okay,
reality.
nobody to blame but myself then.
Huh.
Oops.
Well,
That's right. Oh,
Yeah.
yes, I remember now, vaguely.
that
There are-
actually might come into a favor for us then, if we can actually get a little bit of information then.
I mean, we don't have to do that one. It was just something I know was on our list.
Well, what I'm thinking about for that one is that it's going to sit there. We already know that it's probably be easier with all the glorious things we've done. It set all the museums on high alert.
Crime spree is the word you're looking for. Yeah.
With all of the things we've done, but we know that the original thing was that we would have a target because they're going to be moving that manuscript from the Tate. I don't think it's going to the tower now because, well, that would be stupid. But they're still going to transport it to somewhere, as be my guess.
It was going to the British Museum. Actually,
Oh.
looking at my notes.
Was it British? I thought you said it was going to the Tower Museum.
Okay, it was, but now it's going to the British Museum.
Okay.
Because you changed history.
Yeah, that's what. But so it's still going to be that point where we don't have to break into your sister's museum. We just have to intercept along the way after it leaves.
You could certainly use the potentially use them as a connection to know when that trip is happening.
Oh, you could like try and set up like a dinner with your sister, and then all the times that she says she can't do it because she's busy, probably is when she's setting up to get it moved.
Sneaky little
Right?
bugger.
I feel like that's way too smart for me to do.
Well, you could just say, "Hey, when are you free? Like, I'm free this time to this time." Like I hear that the lunch rush is it for this one restaurant is just more or less the entire day. So like, can you take time off work? Like, when works for you? Blah blah blah, and then just see what she says. You can always just nudge the conversation into like, if she says anything along the lines of like, after 4 p.m. I'm good. Then we know that it leaves the building before 4. If you're
I'm gonna look
comfortable.
to.
You're seeming a bit on the hesitant side. So do we need to push that one off?
I'm just not sure if that's the one you guys want to do. If you guys want to do that, I'll look into it and see if she gets back to me.
Well, we always do have the great fire.
So Mick will pull out his phone and sends a message to his sister and be like, "Hello, I know we haven't caught up in a while. I was wondering if you wanted to potentially meet for dinner on insert day in
Yep.
story." Whatever day today is in the story.
Before you send that, if you're not comfortable reaching out, or I see that you could probably perceive this as like using someone that you care about to do something. If that makes you uncomfortable, we don't have to go through that angle at all.
Well, like, the thing is, back before we changed history, me and my sister, we didn't get along. We had a falling out over my dad.
Oh, sorry.
So, like, I haven't talked to her since before I followed my uncle's footsteps and joined the military. So I don't know in this reality how long it's been since I've talked to her or what the status of things are in this reality. Because I know back in where we originally were, I hadn't talked to her in 6 years. That's what has me nervous, is I don't know what this reality status is of all of our own personal little connections, if the things we've done to the world have affected those at all.
Do you want to see her?
I mean, we can at least just go check out the tape today and just kind of see how things are. Just go as tourists, see how things are, and maybe go from there. And maybe by that time she'll get back to me, maybe. If
you're
not,
not-
we can always just
If you're not comfortable doing this one today, we've got 3 others we can look at. I'm good for any of them.
Yeah, same. It's if that's something that you've been thinking about doing, being in the city, and you want to go see her at some point, unrelated, I think you should do it.
what's that old saying that they always say, which I think is oddly apropos at this time? There is no time like the present,
And you
even
hit
if our
send.
present's always
Yeah.
and then he'll put a caveat saying, if this day doesn't work, tell me what evening works for you, and he hits that.
You hit the button. It's about 10 seconds. And you get back capital letters OMFG, get over here now.
I guess we need to run over to the Tate. Or at least that's his assumption. He texts back saying, I assume we
Then
mean
location.
about your work. I
Yeah.
assume you mean your workplace.
And the response is, I'll meet you at the front doors.
So
Just for a museum, guys. Oh, wait a minute. A museum
That's-
visit. A museum visit. Not,
Yeah,
Yes.
not the
this
way
is
the thing
fine
goes
for a
before it.
museum visit, right? That's just
Oh yeah,
Like-
no, I meant none of the breaker.
they're
units.
open toed, but like
Yeah.
they have good grips. So they're not really.
You got the
Yeah,
Croc
crow-
sandals. It's all cool.
We can leave the crowbars this time.
I have the skateboarding croc special.
Yeah, yeah. The sticky feet, but still open toes. I got you. All right. So yeah, the message is just like, get over here now. Callum kind of looks around. As you lot are full of surprises.
Well, that's why we're special.
I could have fucking stayed in the tub.
Well, now you can fill it back with more water and add different sense to it.
You decadent bastard! And he turns around and heads out to do just that. Leave you guys standing in his living room.
Callum, I'd suggest going easy on the Irish Spring bath salts this time.
How about I just close the fucking door? And you're crying at the end of the hallway. The fan turns on in the bathroom.
Yeah, that's not coming out of the furniture. So
It's okay, the furniture will be gone the next time
Right.
you're here anyway.
yeah, that's the problem. I think the scent won't
Yes,
be
it's
gone.
still-
Oh, it's-
just a
There
string
should
of
go,
code
'cause-
hanging in the air. Why can I smell that code?
Hey guys, you know, he put the fan on, but it's still burning my eyes. We should put it out.
And
So do we take mass transit, or are we having the race back to the museum?
I don't care about you guys. I'm taking my butt.
Yeah, I'm grabbing the Fiat.
okay.
There is
Parking
a
is
part
gonna
of
be
me,
so expensive.
there's a part of me that wants to suggest the really ridiculous tandem bicycle.
I'm not thinking that's a good idea just yet.
However, there are fees. Although motorcycles and Fiat 500s do not have to pay the congestion tax because they're tiny.
Oh, of course not.
Yes. So pure luck rather than anything else. The four of you, I presume, for visual reasons, converge on the Tate.
Yep.
Like the camera shots where you see them, vroom, 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 and then the one from above where they come in. vroom.
We gotta have the Ocean's 11 sliding windows of
Oh,
all
yeah.
of us stepping
Yeah.
up and like moving over while it's like the repetition.
Yep. And meanwhile, all you're actually doing is things like waiting at red lights and then turning left. Yeah. But yeah. So, the bottom of the stairs. Mick, what were you riding?
Well, Mick's not driving the DB5 because if you remember what happened last time, he drove the DB5. It got a little bit
Yep.
dinged up.
Yes.
So he is probably driving.
What did you steal
Um,
this week, you bastard?
Oh,
I'm sorry, did that
what
come out?
Oh,
Mick doesn't steal. What are you
No.
talking about?
He
You know, reality
requisitions.
has to pay for all these.
It's
vehicles.
requisition. It's not. None of it's real. How can you steal what isn't real? It's a hologram. Yeah. Flawless
There's still the-
philosophy.
There's still the requisition paperwork.
Yeah.
Let's just go old school, somewhat old school Porsche 911 Carrera.
Okay. So yeah, that annoying friggin' noise. Beautiful car, but what an engine. You pull
Yep.
up in front of it. Nah. It's like never sounded more like a Volkswagen in your life.
Yep.
You come to a stop at the bottom of the stairs, open the door, and by the time you're standing up, you're basically pinned to your car by your sister. She is here. Like just telling you 6 years of what's happened in her life, mixed with the same question over and over and zero chance to answer it, which is, what have you been doing? Where are you? What do you just, but then tells you all about her. And the rest of you pull up to that.
Yeah, Mick's sister is all of 5 foot tall firecracker, like
Yep.
straight firecracker, 100 miles an hour, doesn't know how to stop ever.
Yep.
And is doing one of those things where it talks with their hands a lot and
And it's
and
absolutely
makes-
caused Mick to shrink. Mick is just getting smaller by the moment as his big sister, right?
yes, his
Yeah.
sister's older.
She just older childs all over him and makes the ears go away, and she's the
Yeah.
big sister again. Yeah,
So
at the bottom of the
so
stairs. So
So
yes.
the other two, I kind of like. I mean, I'm not sure if we should help them or just watch, but I do have the stunner if we need to actually put her down.
Uh,
But I think we'll play. I think we'll see how this goes.
Mick,
Watch
she blurts to you, Mick. You mentioned that restaurant. I pulled some strings. We've got a table.
Awesome. That's great. We should totally, because as I said, that was plans for dinner.
She grabs you by the
Tonight,
wrist,
so-
not by the hand, but by the wrist, like the thumb in here, fingers out here,
Yep.
sort of unconscious grip, and just turns and starts to walk down the street towards the restaurant, expecting you to come with. You're compared to her, if you choose to stay, you're going to stay. But how do you respond to that?
I think for the sake of the story, Mick's just gonna look over his shoulder, give kind of like the shrug emoji.
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah.
he's going with
shrug.
it because she's the director of the Tate. If he keeps her distracted, that's one less
Yeah.
thing they have to deal with.
Not to mention, if you don't go, that nail is going to go right the fuck through there,
Yeah.
like she used to do to you in grade 9. Yes. So yeah. Perfect. I got a plan.
So-
Don't worry. We're not going to leave you parked here for the rest of the episode. Trust me.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
So Mick is like his sister's shorter than him, so her strides are shorter, but she's dragging him.
Oh,
and
yes.
he's also keeping up with her, so it's like a half drag / saunter thing
Oh, the
going
game.
on.
Yeah. The sibling game is afoot. The other three of you, as they head away, you see someone in a very fancy livery come out of the Tate, run down the stairs, look inside, and go, oh. Walk around, open the door to the Porsche, get in, start it up, and drive it away. They're clearly staff.
That's
Clearly staff, but they still just stole the
Fine.
stolen car.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Right.
can. Let's go see where it is, I guess.
Well, this was the one where they said that it was actually being studied here. So
That
it
is
was-
correct. It's
It
in the back.
So it's really probably kind of need her as he points down to Mick and his sister walking there.
Yeah, or we could just
Yeah.
get someone in security to help us out.
I'm gonna go ahead and follow the car. She revs up the motorcycle, having not actually had turned it off yet.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then
okay.
kind of
Oh, I
does
love
that
it. Yep.
rubber thing where she does
Yep.
the 180 and then just burns off down right after the car.
Perfect. So we're gonna do that first because while these other two think about it, you follow the car around a couple corners. They go into an underground parking in this building. You follow them down and sneak through because you're just on a motorbike, and you find yourself in the underground parking of the Tate. As the door rattles shut behind you, so you're down there.
Mm.
You, Mick, are at lunch. Leaving the other two standing at the bottom of the stairs.
All right, so Tyler, once again, it's you and me in a museum. Let's
Oh.
try not to make it disappear this time. Let's go.
Sure. Yeah, okay.
Um,
I guess we just make our way in.
Yeah.
I think all the museums are free entry right now, and we just look for a door that says private access or
well, just remember, if it's like the other ones, they beefed up the security.
They
Oh,
have.
yeah.
As you walk in, there's the metal detector things, but those were regular before. But there's just physically more security around. As you make your way into through the main entrance, it's a little jarring how many there are. You know, there's nowhere you could go and not be seen. You do see a number of doors off to the sides, and because this is a government building, they're all very clearly labeled, like at hospitals, even the parts that you're not allowed to go into. And there is one that you find very quickly that says research department. And then when you look at the door, it says alarm will sound, no public access. There is a guard standing directly beside it, looking bored, but
Okay.
standing there. And then that's at the end of a short hallway, and then the main public area where there's lots of guards.
The main
Right.
public hallway that has lots of guards, is there like a central kind of desk
Yes.
that has like a guard or two?
Yep, absolutely. Right in the middle. It's one of those, this is clearly a security officer desk thing. It's intended to intimidate. It's up on a little podium right in the
Yeah.
middle. Yeah.
How many guards are like at the computers there?
There's 4 of them sitting around looking officiously at 6 or 8 screens each. And then there's one walking around the middle like the air traffic controller boss with
Okay.
the headset on watching all of them.
Now,
Um,
the Tate is actually a museum
It
in
is.
itself too.
Yep. So
Okay.
there's this public area where you guys are. It's like a grand hall, and then it goes into smaller halls from there.
Okay.
But right away on either side, because that's where the offices are built in these things, is these preservation areas and offices and storage.
Just making sure it wasn't like more governmental. That they'd be like, "Why are you here?"
That's the Taint
You,
is a completely different museum, but never mind. We're not doing that. Twitch will throw us off.
do you want to deal with the door and I'll deal with the cameras?
And so the door is visible from
there's
well,
there's
the
only
guard,
Hallway.
there's
then-
only one guard right there that's on the
There,
door, but
but-
there is also cameras everywhere. So yeah, it would require both a someone affecting the way people think and someone affecting the way electronics work. I'm telling you, there's a role in the future. I promise.
Okay.
Up until now, I've given you everything.
the
The red pill,
red pill.
the red juju. All right, so you take that. So you head off to talk to the guard, presumably.
Me? Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go talk to the people, the main air traffic controller.
Oh yeah,
Um,
the self-important dude. Yes.
and I'll kind of turn on my my live stream, my backpack,
Yeah.
and just kind of like go up and go like, oh, hi, excuse me, is it okay if I film here? Is this like a public area that I
And
can deal with?
he leans forward, and you can see the name tag has been. There's a second name tag above it, and the one above it says Colonel Retired, and then there's John Smith Smythe. Let's just go with that because let's play all the tropes. And he leans forward and he says, "As long as you only film in the public areas, yes, and thank you for asking."
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, it's of course. I wanted to. Wow, you guys like. Are you sure? Like, I don't think that those cameras aren't compatible with the newest version of Windows. You need to change the system to XP, and just say that to the main guy,
Yep.
and lie to him.
That's the lie. Oh yeah, well, perfect. I made him a military
I
officer.
want them to update the software on every single computer in the Tate
absolutely
to Windows XP, which won't have appropriate drivers for any of these high-tech cameras.
I absolutely love this. Because I made him a military officer of an age and of a so there's no friggin' way that well, let's just say it makes it easier to convince him.
Okay.
So the difficulty here comes from, and again, this works. This is about now resisting the
Mhm.
damage. The difficulty here of getting them to believe it isn't the technical side. It's him taking instruction from a child. So
Yes, but I'm my core nature is that I'm an influencer. So I would say that I
Okay.
am
Yep.
I am influencing him with my technical know-how, and I'm using a card that says this is in my wheelhouse.
Oh wow. So yeah, okay. In that case, yeah, it's still well that makes it easy because it's still very hard, but you're boosted twice. So 7-8 is your hurdle.
Okay. 7 is my hurdle, and I
Yep.
have to do a D.
Because it's in your
10?
it was a D10 plus it's in your wheelhouse, so that's a D12. Right?
Okay. Let's try and roll a D12.
You can do it. I believe in you.
Oh
10.
wow, a 10, yeah.
Nice.
Once you start talking, he says you know you got him when he says the magic phrase. It may or may not be true. You've affected his mind, but he says, "You remind me a lot of my son, or rather, how I wished my son would." And then drains off. But he is hitting the power button as we speak to shut everything down. You have complete control of the computer. What's going to happen? So they're down. He's got one of them downloading XP, and they're just kind of. But you could, oh, yeah, he's a pompous ass. At least 4 of them figure out what's going on, and they all start grinning. In fact, one of them pulls his iPhone out and sets it up on his desk really surreptitiously, filming his boss getting absolutely scammed by you. But you can also see that he's pulled a book over to block the part of the lens where you are, so your face is not visible,
Okay.
but your voice is there. Yeah. And yeah, this, as you can imagine, it works, and you resisted it, so no discomfort, no damage at all. But as the systems start to shut down, the other security guards around start looking at each other because radio contact is down. Security cameras are going. Yeah, you shut down the computer hub. You are
Okay.
reprogramming the computer hub
So
to
then
XP.
nothing will work.
Nothing. It's not going to work while they try and find XP. None of it. So
Okay.
yeah, you have nuked the Tate because it's more fun this way. Except for one live guard down at the end of the hall who hasn't even noticed that because he's down this little short hall. You know, it's never mind. It's building design. There's always the hall that's the same length as a room, and then the door at the end of it. Instead of putting the door at this end, which never mind.
Okay, so question.
Yes.
Mick, would you have said what your sister's name was? I think we were talking about that last.
At the very least, you know the last name is O'Houlihan. Right, so at the very least,
It's Sophia O'Houlihan. That's her full name.
Okay,
yeah.
all right. I just want to I know we had talked about the sister, and I can't remember if it had been brought up when we
Sure.
mentioned that on the phone message.
I
that when you left the
imagine
message.
that when you guys walked up, she probably had her name tag still on. So.
Sure, yeah. Director Sophia, yeah. Okay, yeah, makes
Yeah.
sense. So yeah,
Okay. All right. So I'm going to sit there and I'll walk up to the guard and it's like, excuse me. Quick question. Is this the only research room in here for the stuff that's not going to be going on display? Director O'Houlihan, she basically told me it's in the room, and the one that I thought she pointed me to was not the right research room. So is this the only other one we have? And
all
trying
the
to-
research is in here. Was that an attempt to lie, or were you just going to try and
this is
convince
just
them?
deception.
Okay, just straight
yeah,
deception. Okay.
deception. But yeah, I'm supposed to verify some authenticity on some of the actual leather work on something, and I don't know. She wants me to check it, but she sent me down the other wing, and
Okay.
guards down there have no clue.
Okay. Give me a deception roll then. You're good at it or very good?
I am D10, so very good.
D10, very good. All right. This is a tough call because you're not wearing sort of, the uniform. You look like
Yeah.
your character sheet, right? You don't look like an expert in the field. So we're going to make this very hard. So 7-8 is your hurdle for this on a D10.
Okay. All right.
And you guys have all split up, so you can't help each other. I love it. Always split the party. It's more fun.
I'm on my way back.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You've caused your mayhem. Oh dear.
Well, that's fine. I have a card.
Okay.
I'm better than you think. Turning a failure into an almost or an almost into a success.
Okay, so we get all the way to an almost. All right. At first they look at you. There is no way that you're. Well, no. I'm gonna need to hear from the director on this one.
Well, that might be a little difficult because the director evidently just left with when her brother called her. They went to lunch or something. That's why I think she told me the wrong wing. So she just as I was getting here, she saw him pull up and took off.
He's reaching for his walkie-talkie because you said you're moving, right? Tyler, as soon as you realize that you have crippled the Tate.
Yeah.
Because this is more fun this way. Yeah.
If I get within like earshot of this
yeah.
guy who's reaching for his
this is the
walkie-talkie.
moment. Yeah, this is exactly the moment you walk up as he's looking disbelievingly at your partner and reaching for his walkie-talkie.
Oh, I'm sorry. All you want to do is just let us through and tell everyone you have ever cared about how much you love them.
Way to offset the difficulty. That's absolutely freaking brilliant. Oh, wow. You made me take my glasses off. This is good. I'm going to give you let's do the close to the rules as we can get. That gives you 2 dice. You give yourself harmony by adding to that. Oh, that's beautiful.
Is that D10?
Yes. So 2 D10s because you have harmony.
Crit.
Wow. You hit a nerve. The hand reaching for the walkie-talkie clenches. The face clenches. The tears are choked back just because, yeah, what the hell? Let's just do this. Yeah. Is it my and he actually pushes past the 2 of you. And you can see him. He's no longer reaching for that. He's reaching for his phone. And you can see he's having to wipe away. They're not tears as he dials somebody in his family and pushes himself out into the mayhem that is already the foyer.
We'll watch the door for you. And
Yeah.
on it.
Blake.
So is it?
Yeah.
Is the door locked?
As you reach for the door and give it a wiggle, it is locked. Downstairs, Blake.
No
I said let us through as part of the live.
Oh, you did? Okay. In that case, yes,
So you said you
you
wanna let
did.
us
Does he
through and
beep it
then-
right before he runs
Yeah,
off?
he just pulls out his thing and meep and then takes off. Downstairs, Blake. You can easily follow staff in. You're inside the security loop as soon as you get into the underground parking, right? So you just hop into an elevator and ride up to the main floor. Just as the doors open on the main floor, the elevator, they stop. And they're frozen. And you look out into security guard mayhem. They're running around talking to each other. Everybody's calling for sergeants and lieutenants, and nobody seems to know what's going on. Down a little side hallway, you can see 2 of your friends shaking a door handle.
All right. I'm gonna run over there
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna open the door for them, lock picking.
Okay, absolutely. So get that. You have that skill, right? So give me a D10.
I have that skill, and I also, where did it go?
Oh, you got the tools
I
too,
also
right?
have improved skill,
Oh.
lock picking and embedded tool, lock
Nice.
pick.
That's okay. So you give yourself 3 D10s to
And
roll here.
I have lock picking if it can help. him
Okay,
with that.
yep, 4 D10s. Only one person ever makes the roll, so yeah.
Yeah.
So you just walk past them and yeah, easy. Just walk past them and then click and the door opens and you see ahead of you this hallway that hasn't got any real people in it, and it looks a lot older than the other areas, and there's all just little offices off to the side. As that door opens, you get this sort of expectation now. Maybe you can smell peanuts. That's what it would have been. I was almost said popcorn, but no, you could smell roasted peanuts
Ooh.
in the distance. Mick, you're sitting at the restaurant with your sister. You've just ordered, or the aperitif has just arrived, and you said as they put it down, and it's supposed to smell like what? What would you order for an intro in a fancy restaurant?
Oh, I'm gonna imagine the restaurant they picked was like a mixture of all UK cuisines.
Yep.
So it's probably a very fancy version of a Scottish egg.
Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. So yes, you're. They put that down in front of you, but instead of that, you smell the very strong smell of roasting peanuts. Your sister, who's been the two of you, like you're answering when you can, but she's still very, sort of the
Talkative,
active person.
animated.
Yeah. She starts to get quieter, and you look over and like she's not getting any quieter, but it's like her voice is starting to fade in your head. Back with the three of you.
So
You look down the
start
hall.
looking.
Yeah.
Start looking.
About the third door on the left-hand side, or third door left-hand side opens up, and a scientist, you can tell because they're wearing a white lab coat, steps out with a looks for all the world like a Tupperware bin, the really nice air-sealed Tupperware bins, and turns towards you and says, "Oh, there's no public allowed in here."
We're not public.
Well, you certainly don't work here.
That's okay.
Oh.
We're allowed to be back here.
That's another attempted lie, or is it just
Yeah,
a
yeah.
deception? Yeah. Okay.
No, it's just a lie.
Yeah. Okay. Absolutely.
just lie to him.
Just there's a D10. Give us
Okay.
that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
8.
Because it was you that asked. Oh, did you win a competition or something?
Oh, I
Yes,
don't really know about winning. Like, participated.
Oh,
All access backstage pass type thing. Yep.
oh wow. And they put the paper, the container down on the floor, and they take out this little tiny knife and start cutting the tape. Would you like to be the very first member of the public to see a really important historical document?
Sure.
Yeah,
And
of course.
Yeah. And in
What
front
what
of-
what have you been working on?
they're talking almost exclusively to Tyler, right? Their inner professor teacher has kicked in, and as they're cutting away, this is you've heard of Shakespeare, right? I bet they made you study him in school and everything.
Yeah, that's deception.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll roll it. I'll
Yeah.
roll a d8.
Yeah.
That's a
Oh,
natural one.
perfect. Absolutely perfect. And she looks, oh, you're American. She makes the connection with the lie and your accent at the same time.
They put on something that had like a really young Leonardo DiCaprio, and I couldn't follow.
Oh dear. And she finishes.
Is this like
cutting around?
what that was? Like, is this like
No,
the
no.
prequel to?
Much better. Much better.
Okay.
And they lift up the lid, and there's this sort of 90% burnt page. It's one of those ones where they've taken the burnt bits and tried to jigsaw them back together. They've got it on this mat. There's really only one little section of it that you can read. And and she kind of looks at the two adults and then looks back down at Tyler and says, they don't want us to put this on display because look, it says buttocks breaks.
He did have a sense of humor, didn't he?
I suppose so.
For all the
So-
other things, we had to touch it, didn't we?
Yep.
Yeah. So
But I want to add, because this is the next stimulus that hits you as they say that, as they open it up and say that, you can hear a crowd but it's not like it's not it's rowdy, they're yelling stuff, they're throwing peanuts at the band, they're that crowd. You can hear them. Mick, you hear that as well, and the smell of popcorn and stale beer and unwashed bodies is getting really strong for all of you as well. Mick, your sister's just fading into the darkness, and you see her stop and look at you. Go. And you don't hear the words, you just see her mouth your name, and she actually reaches forward like she's going to tap you on the forehead.
I'll really gently in a similar scene try to tap
Oh,
without messing up the manuscript.
yeah.
Because he sees that someone cares about and doesn't want to hurt their feelings.
Yep.
But tap it, and I'll
And
use
just-
agile as one of my traits
So-
to do
Oh,
that.
yeah. Okay.
I
Yeah.
think this would be super cinematic. So I know we haven't got into it, but for Mick's entrance, it's like she goes to poke him in the forehead, and it's like he falls backward out of his chair.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and it goes whiff right where you were. As you reach down and tap it, the scientist says, "You really shouldn't," but, and then that's the moment that your finger just touches it. And the four of you, yeah, Mick, you just fall backwards out of reality through the seat. The other three of you, there's that snap feeling that you know by now. And you're standing on an absolutely crammed street. All the buildings are 3 stories tall, those wood and mud buildings with the little tiny windows and the big heavy roofs and the sewage in the street and animals and kids and nothing's clean and
Oh, this really doesn't smell good, and everybody. Oh, I stepped in something. Okay,
oh yeah,
there's a
yeah,
lot of something on the ground.
Don't
Yeah.
don't look
Ah.
down.
yeah,
Don't
don't
look
don't
down.
Oh, yep.
don't
Oh,
skate
someone's throwing
here.
it out the window.
Yeah. Definitely don't skate here if you value your sanity. There's-
If this doesn't convince you to buy closed-toed shoes, I don't know what will.
I know you're trying to do the walking in the snow without getting your toes wet thing. Oh yeah. Luckily, it's not far because there's a wooden walkway that doesn't look like it was part of the structure. It looks like somebody local got pissed off and just sort of built it on the front of their house. Then it's sort of extended from there down the block.
I am climbing whatever
yeah.
I can.
Yeah, Mick, you kind of beside these other 3 in this mess. Do the rest of you climb up onto the wooden sort of walkway?
Yeah.
I do.
Perhaps the creepiest part of this, maybe don't let me put words in your mouth, but it's put a thought in mine. The weirdest part is that nobody's reacting to this, like just the overwhelming look. This is normal. And almost, almost.
And we were in Boudica's camp, and it was a little ripe. So
Even that was better than this, though, because it was at least outside. This is London, right?
Yeah.
And it's been London for a long time. But you hear behind you, lovely, isn't it? It's almost like it could inspire you to write poetry.
turn around.
What type of what? No.
No, and you turn around and there's sort of this balding young fella sitting there. It looks like he's got nice clothes on, but he's definitely not the king, by which mean he's covered in shit. But and he's sitting there with he's clearly a scribe perhaps or some sort. He's got paper and pen, and he says, "Yes, you just write all the things that aren't."
That aren't quite right or aren't quite here right now.
That aren't right in front of me.
Huh.
So, roses. I think I'll write something of roses, shall I?
That's a
So
interesting way to look at the world.
Oh, I've got something to start you off there. In that roses thing. And Mick turns to look at the guy. What was that old saying? Roses are red, violets are blue. From there on, go forth and speak after you. And I don't know.
That's that. He kind of looks around and suddenly realizes that you're not. I mean, you like the Doctor Who rules apply, but you guys are clearly you're not of the milieu. And he kind of looks at you and says, "See, that's. I mean, it's not good, but at least it rhymes and it's pleasant. You know what they want me to write?
What?
Right?
Fart jokes. The only thing they bought in the last 2 weeks was what wind through yonder buttocks breaks. It bought me 1 beer. How am I supposed to be a decent playwright?
Well, that's the whole thing. If you're going to be a content creator, you shouldn't sacrifice what you want to do. You should just keep doing it until you find an audience.
Right? Right? That's what I tell
Sell
them.
out.
Well, besides the fart jokes and stuff, what have you written so far?
I wrote a whole series about a bunch of kings that don't exist. That way nobody kills me. Eh?
Right?
Huh? Yeah. I got a couple about real kings that I kind of snuck in between because, who doesn't like a little political commentary, right?
The Kings. So
The
carry on.
them and the idiots
I-
eating
I've
peanuts
got-
in the front and throwing beer at me. I like just no sense of perspective. Yes?
I've got a great idea of something you should write about. It's two families who have been bitter rivals, merchant families, whatever type of families you want. Each of them only has a single child, one male, one female.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
They meet at a masquerade ball, fall madly in love, but they don't know who the other is. And the story is how their story develops and how people realize that they are star-crossed lovers. And the piece de resistance is you find a way to make it end in an unforgettable way, a truly tragic way. That's
Well, what do you mean figure out a way? The only way that could possibly end is everybody dies. Who the fuck wants to see a play where everybody dies? What's wrong?
Not
And he starts
everybody.
crossing out the lines that he's been writing down.
Oh no,
not
don't give up on it.
everybody.
Well, like maybe it's like those older movies where like one of them like dies, but they're like dead, but their like love like keeps them alive or something like that. It's like
I could
Can't
call
remember.
it Ghost.
sure.
And but hey, it just sounds like something that might be like a little ditty about Jack and Diane. So
And you're all these comments. And it becomes, I mean, if nobody's figured it out already, you are talking to Shakespeare themselves, unemployed.
who
but
Tyler
yeah.
does not know anything about.
Nope, not a damn thing.
Mm.
So, okay, I got all these ideas. Here's the thing. I kind of took out a huge loan because art doesn't pay, right? And I was absolutely convinced that the Globe Theater was going to let me put my stuff on, but they're the ones that only want fart jokes and ass jokes and like just bathroom wall, like outhouse wall stuff.
Hmm.
So I was about to go over there and burn it down. Want to help?
you wouldn't by chance know what today's date is, would you?
29th of June, 1613. You're not catching me that easily. I wrote it down.
Sure, let's go.
Yeah.
This is for anybody, yeah, and you guys would,
Yes.
most of you would know the history. This is the day the Globe Theater did burn down. Of
Okay,
Okay,
course,
and no one's inside
I
it,
wrote-
right?
I wrote it.
the one thing I will say with that is it's also should be about 20 years into Shakespeare's career, but
Career.
isn't. He's been struggling for a while. Yes. No, nobody's in it. Nobody will write the fart jokes.
Oh, I think people want to like I don't know think about things that aren't real, like witches and warlocks
Ooh.
and like vampires, like werewolf, like things like that, right?
Mockingbirds.
What's a
I perhaps have
vampire?
a very
By
Um,
about almost 200 years.
Yes. Well, vampires are creatures of the night that basically roam around seeking the blood of the living to help sustain them.
Yeah, and they can't come into your house unless they ask for permission to come in, and you let them in. So there's like the rapping at a door, and you're like, "Whoa,
and the
no!"
most important thing that you can't ever forget about vampires, they don't sparkle.
No sparkles.
Well, that's
And
kind of like open to interpretation if you want to do like a metaphor.
Maybe
No
sparkles.
no
Mm.
sparkles.
And you see, Tyler, you see him at the
Because they
this-
can't be in the sun, because then
Mhm.
they'll die. They're like bats, kind of. Some of them can turn into bats.
and he's just making notes just madly. Okay. So I'll write this later.
Sure,
Want to burn a building down?
Yeah.
Sure.
I suppose that's what we're here to do.
Oh, but before you do, could I see? I want to write something down for your journal there. So a few notes. It'd probably be quicker if I write it myself. Will you?
I've
can I
got
ask if it-
pen and paper. Yes. And he
all
hands
right,
you.
Thank you. And so he writes down a few things, just some notes from some of the other fiction of similar to Shakespeare's time, notes about some of his, just to make sure that some of the classics do get at least, throwing some names,
Fair,
throwing
yeah.
some other stuff in there.
Yeah, A Midsummer Night's
Just-
Dream. Some of the other ones
Yeah.
that were not completely a
Hamlet.
waste of my time. But never mind.
Yeah.
Personal judgment. Personal judgment.
No, it's just,
Content
he
warning.
wants to make sure
Personal
that
judgment.
We gotta have something in there. We have to have something in there to make sure that.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Put the
was
Lion
something-
King. Put the Lion King.
Yeah.
And they throw the baby lion from there to see if he can fly. Okay, so
The Lion King, through a series of permutations, turns into the unwritten story of Richard the Lion Heart, thereby starting that whole mythos and tying that shit up with a bow.
But Hamlet isn't Hamlet is the basis for Lion King, isn't it?
Yes. Yep. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Plus I know. Yeah, I could not resist. That was absolutely beautiful. Thank you.
so we'll follow him. It's like, well, here you go, sir. Just a few notes for you, and lead on.
Back out into the filth with his backpack, his book in the backpack, almost singing his way through the town. A couple people are like, "Hey, Willie!" Nobody likes him, right? 'Cause, what kind of egghead shit you write today, man? Nobody understands your stuff. All that. Just they heckled all the way there. Writers were not seen as get a real job was basically what they would have been told, right? So all the way there is just annoyed. But by the time you get there, you notice the crowd is thinning, because the entertainment district is where people that spend all day drunk go to get really drunk and have fun. So it's a mess compared. Even you might almost, by this point, you've been here a couple hours, you might almost be getting used to the smell for brief moments, and you've learned how to walk without getting squishies between your toes. But when you get down here, it's just this is worse. It's like walking up towards a dump, right? It's unavoidable. You can almost see the miasma, and through it
Not
you
so
can
much as air as it is funk.
yes. And you can see the theater, and in the little booth at the front, there's a sign that says closed till Thursday. And it's Tuesday.
Makes
So-
sense.
Did you say that you did or you did not write the? You said you write the Butticus or something.
Oh, yes, what wind through yonder buttocks breaks.
Buttocks. So you said they bought that one,
Yes.
so it's in there, right?
And he grins and he says, I'm sure it's in there somewhere, but probably gives me the right to perform it, doesn't it?
you know, it would be a shame if it
Or,
wasn't performed.
an edited version of it, perhaps?
So, looking at the doors, basically, just trying to look at how they're secured. I mean,
It's 1613. There's a flappy bit of wood that comes down like that, and
Okay,
a
so
rope
it's-
tied around it in a fancy knot. So, it's also a public building, so
right. So I just made sure it wasn't, you know, like barred from the inside.
yeah,
All right.
no, easy to get in. There is no one inside. I know we are barreling at extraordinarily high speeds here towards the end of this adventure, which has turned out to be quite short. But I'm just I can't slow it down, and we're barreling now. So yes, you walk inside, and actually, yes, I can slow it down. There are people in here. There's about half a dozen. They seem like they probably work here. A couple of them are sweeping up peanut shells. A couple of them are trying to scrape stains from here and there. And two of them are up on the stage setting up scenery for the next show. Blake,
Uh,
how do you respond? Just gonna quickly jump in before we lose you.
No, I'm sorry. It's just when I get a little too hot.
Oh, it's
I
all
zone
good. It's all good.
out.
In fact, if you need to go, we can do that too. Blake can just disappear
No,
easy as.
I
Okay.
should be fine.
All right. We're like I said, we're
Almost
close to the
there.
end anyway. So yeah, what do you do
Okay.
when you see these people in here?
Hmm. I have deception as well, I do believe, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You do now. What are you gonna try and convince them?
I have deception and disguise. So I'm going to disguise myself to look like a police officer at the time.
Okay, yeah.
I'll walk in and say, okay, everybody. We need to evacuate the building because there's something in here that should not be and could possibly hurt you guys. So everybody out.
Shakespeare whispers in your ear, tell him there's a fire in the basement.
There's a fire in the basement, guys.
Okay, roll me a deception. Because fire was absolutely terrifying. The reason I put that out there was that fire was absolutely terrifying in the 17th century in London.
So it's a D10, right?
Yep, just give us a D10. 6.
Hold
It's-
on.
Oh, sorry, that was the last roll. I see.
Checking my cards.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Of course, I've been out of it just like my character has.
That's all good.
My character's been out of it, I should say, like I have. But I recall a time when I actually did call out that that there was a
Yep.
fire when there really was a fire,
hmm
and I recall how I reacted.
Yep.
So now I can re-roll with that boost.
Excellent. So roll us a D12.
And
Ooh,
did work.
It's worse. That's okay. They turn towards you, and it's they just that's not working. Get out. Just get out, and they start moving towards you en masse.
You said it's about 6 of them.
Yep.
And it's like, I look over at Shakespeare. It's like, do you know any of these personally?
Nope. And he kind of uses you guys as cover, and you see him dart off into the wings.
Tyler.
Yeah.
Hit the stage, and it should be relatively flat enough. See what kind of spin shows you can put on.
Oh, sure. He's gonna kick out his skateboard and just
Yeah.
all right. Well, this is supposed to be a private practice, but we'll see if we can blow your minds 400 years in the past. And he's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
start grinding off the
And-
rails inside
There's a whole
the
set.
Globe Theater.
Oh yeah, there's a whole
And then-
set.
Kick
as
flip
they all-
onto the
as they all
main
come-
stage and just start doing tricks.
Oh,
Yeah, so if they all start coming and I said to Tyler to get him going, I'm like, look, guys, we were really just trying not to basically have anybody see this and spoil the show. Okay, it's a new act we're trying out, so
Mhm.
you know the last stuff that's been going on hasn't been doing as good, so we were trying something new, and we wanted to make sure it would all work. So really, guys, we didn't want to be in here until we were sure it was going to be good. Deception.
Give me a deception, or if
And
you want to make
we're-
sure it succeeds, you can lie using deception, and then that way it guarantees it
Well-
succeeds, but you might take damage.
Well, I'm the planner, so I'm lie to people at this point, or lie to items, not
Right.
people.
Okay. Yeah.
But are we in third act?
Yes.
Then
Oh,
that
yeah.
would
It's
boost
boosted.
it.
So yes,
So that makes it a 12 because I'm at a 10 normal.
Yep.
So
absolutely. Thank you
Yeah,
for
Blake's
reminding me
gonna
that.
do some clinging.
Sorry, Blake, you're ready to go too.
Blake
Okay.
is
So
gonna do some clinging. They're gonna walk along the wall
yeah.
and up to the ceiling and just walk along the ceiling.
So just distracted by walking along the ceiling. Perfect. So that gives us another deep. Yeah, you guys already succeeded even before the harmony. Blake walks up the wall. Tyler jumps up on the stage and starts doing rail grinds on the classic scenery in the Globe Theater. Wow. And Ted is just talking the wheels off of the last three people. As that moment exists. What's Mick doing?
I think Mick has spent the time literally just going around gathering up a bunch of, say, 2-foot long sticks, and he is essentially going to make himself a fiery bouquet of torches.
Perfect. Absolutely. Yes. As you start to, there's torches there because it would be a lit place, right? So as you find them and pull them out, you see Will jumps up beside you and says, "Oh, thanks. I'll take 2 of those." And he pulls them and heads off into the darkness.
So as the guys sit there and turn to look around,
Yep.
you know, basically he will move up and reach into his pocket and pulls his
Yeah.
it's like as they're watching all the stuff over there.
Yeah.
And
You
okay, we'll
pop
just-
that flame at exactly the same moment up on stage. Tyler, you come off a rail grind, land it perfectly. Your camera's on. It's in drone mode, right? It's catching you for doing all the things. It could not be better. This is clearly going to be the 1 million view video, right? This is the one. And just to make it that much more outrageous, Shakespeare steps from behind the props with a flaming torch in each hand and starts waving them like the flame jugglers with the flames on the end of the ropes.
the fire dancers.
The
yeah.
fire dancers, yeah, and he's just waving them around as he walks around and behind you as you're doing the tricks. And in what may well be the world's first sort of almost rap, I can't believe. Okay, you hear, "But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun." He steps forward again, and you make another pass. "Rise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon." And he looks down and he takes one of the torches and touches it to the edge of the stage, and one little fire starts. He turns and starts walking across the stage, dragging the torch as he goes. "Who is already sick and pale with grief, that thou, her maid, art far more fair than she? It is my lady." He throws the torch in the air, jumps down off the stage, and looks at them and says, "Oh, it is my love." And he walks past all of you and out of the theater into the street.
Right,
Does
well,
Peter
I
have
think that is going to work.
sprinklers?
We'll be back next week and turn.
And your turn of gone, Blake. Sorry, what was that, Blake?
Does the theater have sprinklers, or is it?
Not in 1613. Nope.
Yeah, that was an
I mean, that's
option.
kind of semi what she was looking for,
Yeah.
what they were looking for, but they again are like, this is so outdated. She pulls out. Okay, apparently Blake is turning into a she now.
Apparently,
See
this
so many
week.
times.
This week doesn't matter.
This week. They pulled out their lighter
Yeah,
and decided to help Shakespeare out.
absolutely. Yep.
See like this little bit of wood hanging down, just kindly right underneath it until it catches,
Yep.
and then she quietly makes her way.
And just
They
turn
quietly
and
makes
walk
their way
in.
back out of the theater,
Mick,
closing
Yeah.
the lighter and putting it away.
the two of them are turning and walking away. Tyler's, you can tell, I presume, because the flames are starting to build, probably doing like your last string, the last set of, yeah,
A
before the
few
stage
things have like
collapses in the
knocked
fire.
down and
Yeah.
strangely make for like okay, like
Oh,
like
yeah.
quarter pipes.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Absolutely, yeah.
somehow like right amount of sheets
yeah.
of wood have dropped down.
And then at the
He's
last
doing
second, the
stupid
stage
things.
itself collapses, allowing you to slide down across
Yeah,
and out
Like
the-
DLC for
Yeah.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
complete with the Goldfinger version of 99 red balloons. Yes. Mick, what do you do? This has gotten out of control real quick. Everything's on fire. You're standing there with flames. The whole place is burning. Everybody's lit a fire but you and Tyler so far. And Tyler's burning the house down in a different way.
So Mick just starts going. So Mick just starts running beeline up one of, because I imagine it's the Gold Feeder's kind of like an amphitheater type setup, right?
Yeah.
He just starts running up the stairs like one of those like promotional like training sports videos, but he's just tossing torches
Yep,
behind
yeah.
him as he's running, throwing a few every which way, and that it's just kind of like you just see this aerial display of torches just behind
Oh
him
yeah.
as
And
he's
the
running out of
globe
the theater.
the globe goes up in a blink. It's just whoosh. And a couple of other buildings around are damaged slightly, but no one is killed because this week we're giving everybody a nice break from all that. We're only messing with literary history this week. But as you come out into the streets, you see Shakespeare sitting across the street, sitting on one of those wooden walkways with his pen and his paper out, and he's just writing madly, and he looks up, he's, what did I say after already sick? It was oh, what the hell did I say?
You'll get it. I have faith in you.
And you can see him writing stuff and crossing it out, and
But we sit there as that all goes. Does it still seem like we're here, or do we start pulling out?
you stay. You feel that moment, the click, right? When everything should fade to black and you should go,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't. You stay here in the stink with William Shakespeare and the Globe Theater burning in the background while he tries to write Romeo and Juliet in the firelight.
Right. This could be problematic.
What are we forgetting?
That's two. I want two more responses, one from each of the
Is
last two.
the manuscript's in there, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Tyler, I'm going to apologize now if we don't get back. I apologize for you basically being late for curfew. Because we are definitely going to be late.
Mick and Tyler?
Mick kind of looks around the group. He's gonna open up his jacket. He's gonna pull out one of his big cars,
Yeah.
light it,
On the
take a
flame
couple
on the
puffs.
flames of the Globe
Of the
Theater.
Globe
yeah,
Theater,
as
yep.
it burns. Yep.
And he looks over to Shakespeare. You know, a good play is never fully appreciated in its lifetime. So don't give up on your writing.
And Tyler.
I suppose he's gonna look at the guy, look at the people that are, I guess, just milling about or like kind of like getting away from the fire.
Yep.
But there's no like fire brigades, I don't think,
Nope,
back
not at all.
here.
They wouldn't. To be accurate, what they did do and what they often did at that point is knock down the buildings around it to keep it from spreading.
Okay,
That
we should
was-
probably well, let's see what you write this time, and I guess we can all just go like out somewhere nice where there's less feces. And we can all just go do whatever play you wrote in the park. Do Shakespeare in the park. Try it out.
I wouldn't have to pay to it. And meanwhile, we cut away back to the modern times, and in the living room, Callum comes out of the bathroom again. He has been in there so long, he's got the wrinkly skin, the wrinkly finger thing, but he's got it like all the way up to here. The beard is all droopy and wet. He has been in there ages. And he comes out and looks at the monitor, and he walks over and he hits a couple buttons. And there's a camera shot of the four of you standing in the middle of 1613 London. And he looks down and he says, "Oh, Christ." And he turns around and starts pulling off his robe and pulling on his kilt. And that is where we will drop the curtain on tonight. I did. I didn't. Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you for giving me the chance to read "But soft, what light through yonder window breaks" in a completely much more modern pattern of speech. Now I want to go back and do it over and over and over again, but never mind. Thank you for that. So we'll start. Let's do the thank yous, and we'll start with Eddie. And thank you for that moment, the chance to that whole scene. Actually, all of you, but that moment of Eddie, not Eddie. See, in my head, it was a younger version of you, Tyler. Just that's like it was you skating out there while the speech was going on. So thank you for that image. I
am dexterously inept.
Yes.
When it comes to that, but
Yeah.
sure.
That's why it's called fantasy role playing game. But thank you for that. Sean, thank you for Ted trying so hard and then just going with the flow. Just like some days are your day and some days not. And today was definitely not Ted's day. So thank you for going with that. I appreciate that. Aaron and Solar, you guys kind of got, you didn't get a lot in tonight, so I noticed, and I will fix that. We'll get an episode where the two of you are more central focused. But thank you tonight for providing that backup role. It's got to be there. We can't all be in the sunlight all the time. So thank you for playing supporting roles tonight. I appreciate that a lot.
No problem.
Couple thank yous left. To the people watching chat, some of you, thank you, hello, all night even, and throwing people out and panicking in the disco and all kinds of many good things. So thank you all for that. I was looking forward to this one because I really didn't know what was going to happen when they met Shakespeare. I had to Google the speech in the middle of the game because I didn't remember it. I'm only an English major. It's not my fault. It was 30 years ago. Give me a break. But thank you all for that. Anybody watching on the VOD, thank you for the views. We appreciate it. This isn't everybody's cup of tea. It's a little weird. Time travel kind of gets wonky. So thank you for watching. And the really important part for everybody. I found a Mr. Rogers quote the other day that's a nice version of it. And he said, "Imagine how much better the world would be if everybody said one nice thing a day." So it's that simple. When I say please be nice to each other, that's what I mean. Start with one nice thing. And with that, thank you. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you, Kevin.
Oh, you're very welcome.